Yes, guys, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to this morning's live stream of the FA Cup fifth round draw with instant reaction to the draw itself. George, yesterday we were at the game, Chelsea-Plymouth. Chelsea not the only Premier League side struggling yesterday. A lot of sides needed extra time against lower league opposition. West Ham just scraping through against Kidderminster. Southampton needing extra time against Coventry as well. So, do you think that the lower league sides are perhaps getting a little bit better?
Well, maybe not that, but maybe FA Cup as a spectacle is going up, and it's always had that prestigious history in the competition where the lower sides try and cause the upset, and that's probably the beauty of the competition itself. And listen, not the greatest spectacle yesterday for a Chelsea perspective, but for an overall viewing for the neutral, or if you're a Plymouth fan, it's a really good day out. They gave it an absolute go. Probably a bit unfortunate not to take it to penalties. Kidderminster in the game against West Ham, the same. Very, very unlucky not to get anything out of that. And I suppose people who slate the FA Cup and saying that perhaps, it's a competition that needs to be fast-tracked and everything else, I think those types of games yesterday showed why maybe the system does work. And, we got through in the end, but I wouldn't say the lower league sides are getting better. I would just say that for them, it's the ultimate, playing at these grounds, Stamford Bridge, it's probably their biggest match of their career. They may not ever emulate that. And they're going to be a bit more up for it than perhaps the Premier League sides. But yeah, really good round from what I can remember.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, mate, it's we're into the last, this will be the last draw for the last 16 this morning. Getting down to the business end. And as you said, like with these lower league sides, when they play the bigger teams, they've got nothing to lose. This is like their holy grail, as it were. It's their big day out. They can throw everything at it, and if they lose, it doesn't really matter because they're expected to lose. Whereas for the big guns, we've seen it with Manchester United being dumped out, and obviously various Premier League teams being taken to extra time. If you're slightly off it, you're in danger of being dumped out and being the victim of a cup set, as it were. I'm just going to bring the results up from yesterday's fourth round action. Obviously, all the action is not concluded just yet, but I mean, let's have a quick run through of some of the results. I mean, you mentioned them yesterday. Obviously, we were at the game. Chelsea 2, Plymouth 1. West Ham with a last gasp win against Kidderminster Harriers. I have to say, I don't know if you've seen it, but Declan Rice's goal and his celebration that followed the Michael Jackson dance was, I've got to say, he was class, and we just need to bring him home. So Agent JT, if you're watching, put a good word in. Palace, straightforward win at home. George, Frank Lampard's Everton. Let's have a quick word about them. A 4-1 win against Brentford. I don't know if you've seen the highlights. What were your thoughts on that? Obviously, I know it's too early to say, look at Frank's impact. Like, it's one game. He's a few training sessions. You do tend to get a new manager bounce, but it's certainly a promising start.
Yeah, perfect start for them, getting the win, getting an emphatic win. They looked sharp, they looked at it. You're naturally going to get that new manager bounce where perhaps players perform to a higher level because there's competition for places again. It starts at zero. Everyone's fighting for positions. But not an easy tie. Brentford, we know the brand of football that they play. They would have wanted to use this competition as a platform to possibly keep their season alive. And yeah, Everton looked bright today and clinical yesterday from the highlights that I watched. So I'm happy for Frank, and I hope it continues. But we've got a long way to go until we can assess how well the impact is there.
100%, mate. I mean, most Premier League teams, I don't think any Premier League teams got dumped out yesterday. Just having a brief look here. Man City 4-1 winners against Fulham, fairly routine. Southampton scraping through in extra time against Coventry. Norwich Wolves. So a bit of a surprise result there with Norwich City beating Wolves away. So obviously Wolverhampton are out. Tottenham dumped out Brighton as well. Luton Town into the last 16 as well with a win against Cambridge United, who beat Newcastle in the previous round. I mean, George, there's not that many decent teams left. You'd look at it and you'd think, right, okay, the obvious ones, your Man Cities and your Liverpools. With Man United being dumped out, we've got West Ham still in it. Obviously, the holders Leicester play away at Nottingham Forest today. We've got Liverpool taking on Cardiff shortly. It is opening up a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is opening up nicely. You look down that list of teams, and I'd be quite happy to take any of those on in any of the rounds other than the two that you've mentioned. So, again, cup competitions, it doesn't matter how you're playing in all the other competitions. If you can just string results together, be it ugly like it was yesterday, we're now looking at a stage where we've got, 4 rounds, 4 matches, 5th, 6th, semis and final to win another cup. So, again, we'll be disappointed that we didn't win it last year. But other than the obvious, and Liverpool and Manchester City don't have the best FA Cup records of late. Certainly not Liverpool. Can't remember the last time they won it. It might have been back in 2006, perhaps. I
Has it
don't
not
know.
been since that Steven Gerrard final against West Ham?
Well, I know
Have they
they've
not
won a
won it?
League Cup since then, but I don't think an FA Cup.
I don't think they haven't won the FA Cup since then. I can't remember.
No, and I know City have won a few since then. They had the one that they lost to Wigan, but they did subsequently win one. I think Yaya Toure was in that team.
Yeah.
But they haven't won it. They haven't won it for a while, I don't think either. So
no.
Yeah, I mean, it's luck of the draw, and we're going to find out shortly who we've got in the next round. But it is opening up, and again, we need to take this competition seriously because it's a realistic competition where ideally four results, and we've got the hands on the trophy.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of looking ahead to the draw, have you got any preference? I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. If you're going to win the cup, you've got to essentially beat everyone pretty much along the way. So whether you get them in the 5th round or the semis or whatever it is kind of irrelevant. But I mean, is there anyone you'd like to avoid apart from the obvious, or do you think actually, do you know what, you're quite happy to face anyone?
For me, it's more dependent on whether you're home and away. And at the moment, I think we're probably due an away tie.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't like to face West Ham in their current form. I think they can be quite dangerous. I know they struggled against Kidderminster yesterday, but I think that'll be a wake-up call for them. And now they'll start to realise that if we can win scrappy in the last minute, we can also do something in this cup. I mean, bar the obvious. There can be some tricky ties away from home, and that does give it an extra element playing those sides away from home than it would be possibly at the Bridge. So you're hopefully looking for a lower league opposition at home, as everyone would want. But again, I think we're due an away tie, mate, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, having 2 lower league opposition at home, it's been quite fortuitous to us, quite kind to us, the draw so far. You would say we're probably due an away tie, as you mentioned, and we're probably due to face someone of a better level of opposition. I know Luton Town are left in. I think Wigan are still in. There's a couple of League One sides. There's a few Championship sides still left. But when it gets down to the lesser numbers, you're probably thinking it's going to be a Premier League team or a Championship team for us in the next round. I don't think you can keep going through getting lucky with the draw every single time. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, some big teams have dropped out already. Arsenal dropped out in the 3rd round. Man United dropping out on penalties the other night, so it has opened it out a little bit. As I said, we've got the holders Leicester in action against Arsenal's conquerors Nottingham Forest. That's a tough match away at Nottingham Forest. So it's not going to be easy. I mean, Georgia's potential London derbies as well in the next round. The likes of Crystal Palace, Tottenham, or West Ham. I mean, would you like another cup tie against Tottenham? We played them 3 times last month. I suppose Tottenham at the Bridge or even away is basically virtually a guaranteed win or as close to, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, the fans were still singing the "We hate Tottenham" at the start, and they get battered everywhere they go. So I wouldn't mind facing them again. I'm sure we can get the job done, home or away. Fulham would be, even though they went out yesterday, I think that would have been an interesting one because they did take the lead in that match. So I think they just got, obviously they got battered away by a side that can do that. I was looking forward to perhaps that matchup. But other ones, we've gone out in the past to teams when we've been unbelievable. I mean, the one I remember very, very well when we played Barnsley away with Mourinho, lost that game.
Yeah. Bradford beat us 4-2 at the Bridge one year.
Bradford. Yeah, so you can't take any game for granted. And as you said, as the rounds go on and the level of opposition are going to be probably, you're looking at Championship as a minimum, it is now going to get tougher and you have to be on it. But again, yesterday, I don't know, mate, the strength aside we had, it was embarrassing, really. I've got to put it out there. I know it's difficult sometimes when you play lower opposition, but we've got to do better than that if we're going to win this competition.
Yeah, I mean, briefly on that, I mean, obviously we were there, having had time to look at the highlights back. It wasn't much better viewing, was it? But what I will say is, mate, I think we obviously not been able to see Azpilicueta's goal that clearly. I think we did it a slight disservice in the matchday vlog because it was a pretty cheeky little flick.
No, it was unbelievable for a right back to be pulling that out. Just comes across him, gets the back flick out, and nearly got another one as well that was ruled out offside for a very similar effort. So fair play, Dave.
And I mean, and a couple of decent goals yesterday as well. Obviously, I mentioned Declan's Rice one. I'm not sure if you've seen Stuart Armstrong's one for Southampton.
Yeah,
mate, a great strike there. So there have been some pretty good goals. I mean, the draw's coming up pretty shortly, just after the advert break is finished. George, what did you make of? I've forgotten what I was going to say now. Can't have been that important actually. I know what I was going to ask, mate. Sorry, it's come to me now. How important is the FA Cup to you this season as a fan and for Chelsea as a whole? I know mathematically we're still in the league, but realistically we're playing for the cups this season. The Super Cup's in the bag. We could have the Club World Cup in the bag by this time next week. And we could have a Carabao Cup at the end of the month. So again, I guess this is another big opportunity for Chelsea. And Tuchel so far has shown it great respect with strong lineups against lower league opposition. So, this is obviously high on the priority list.
Mate, Chelsea, I know Roman Abramovich wants this whole Champions League and European dominance thing, but Chelsea are a trophy machine. And so it's all about winning trophies if we're not going to win the big prizes, which looks unlikely this season. Certainly not the league. Champions League, you never know, but unlikely we're going to go back to back. So these 2 trophies, or 3 trophies, and if you include the World Club Championships as well, I think it's a really important and realistic goal for us. Another day out at Wembley. We love Wembley, and I don't know. I think we discussed it, didn't we, when we were at the game, that I think FA Cup needs to probably scrap extra time. Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe they don't do that.
Yeah. It's just not
maybe
needed,
they don't.
is it? I mean, extra time in general for me. You've had 90 minutes. Or in some cases, if it's 2 legs, you've had 180 minutes to try and separate teams. Why do you want to then see another half an hour? There's just no point. And with the fixture schedules, the congested fixtures, how many games players are playing now, internationals as well sprinkled into the mix. We don't need an extra half an hour of football. Just go straight to the penalties.
But then to counter that, Chelsea get the win in extra time yesterday. If we didn't have extra time, perhaps,
we could have lost. Yeah.
You don't get the magic of perhaps, the iconic Ryan Giggs goal against Arsenal in extra time.
Yeah.
You don't get those sorts of moments. So, and obviously they're historic. It's the oldest competition in world football, so they have every right to keep their history if they want to. But football is moving on with the times, and they do need to start thinking about player welfare and is it necessary? And we probably come to the agreement that it's not.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, the League Cup's already scrapped extra time. I'm not sure what the rule. I could swear the rule's slightly different for the final. I'm not sure. I think the final might have time in the League Cup. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I think it's definitely something that needs to be looked into. They've taken a positive step by scrapping replays. I know for lower league teams, if they were to get a result, at home and they'd have a replay away at a massive ground, they're missing out on big revenue. But ultimately, as you said, the amount of fixtures, the player welfare, the replays have rightly been scrapped. And I think that is, I think that's fair. And I think extra time will be next to follow. We've seen away goals scrapped in the Champions League as well. So, I mean, I think it'll be the next logical point. The draw is approaching imminently. I'll just run through the ball numbers. Chelsea will beat ball number 7. Could it be lucky number 7 for the Blues in the 5th round draw? We'll have to wait and see. Other notable numbers, we've got Manchester City are ball number 15. We've got West Ham United ball number 8. Frank Lampard's Everton, West Ham United are ball number 9. Frank Lampard's Everton ball 8. Antonio Conte's Tottenham are ball 11. Liverpool or Cardiff will be ball 12. And the holders, Leicester City or Nottingham Forest, are ball 14. George, I mean, draw's coming up in a minute or a couple of minutes. If you had to do a little prediction of what you think is going to happen in this draw, who do you think Chelsea will be drawing in this round?
I'm going to go West Ham away, but I like your theory of Even when you said it's number 8 as well, Frank Lampard's number, I think that could have written all over it.
Shit, Frank's number 8, isn't it? I mean, I'd love it. I mean, in terms of getting tickets, it would probably be pretty hard to get tickets for, so perhaps I wouldn't love it that much in terms of trying to get to the game. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have him back. Let me just bring this up. No, I appreciate that. Big up, guys. Just saw your link. Hope you're good. Let me subscribe. No, I massively appreciate the support. Thanks for tuning in, mate. Hopefully we can get a decent draw for the Blues in the next round. Yep, guys, smash that like button. Yeah, appreciate that support there. So please do that. But yeah, I mean, George, I guess if it's going to penalties in any of these next rounds, I guess with Kepa in between the sticks for the Blues, the guy seems to be a bit of a penalty specialist. I mean, I'd be tempted to sub him on just to try and save a penalty if we ever get there. I mean, his penalty record is quite something, isn't it? And I'd say the only downside, I don't want to criticise Edouard Mendy, but if there was one big weakness, it's his penalty saving is dreadful, if we're being brutally honest. But I mean, Kepa seems to be somewhat of a specialist, doesn't he?
No, it's a useful tool to have, and we've said it countless times on the channel. He's a number 1 goalkeeper. He just isn't number 1 for Chelsea. Yeah. Another good performance yesterday. Really led well, especially when we were under the cosh a little bit. Commanded the box well, and obviously the penalty save at the end wasn't the best penalty. Looking back at it,
it was quite poor. It was one of those. If you go the right way, then you're easily saving it.
It was a bit central, wasn't it?
It was on the ground. Not much pace on it. I think the guy was probably shitting it.
Pressure just got too much, yeah.
I mean, in front of the Plymouth fans at Stamford Bridge, it's like virtually 120th minute. I think it just got a bit much for him. But I mean, anyone can miss a penalty. We saw Ronaldo miss against Middlesbrough in normal time at 0-0. If he scores that, then maybe Man United are still in the cup. So it is fine margins. You do have to feel a bit sorry for the lad, but yeah, Kepa he's spot on those penalties, and that could be really important with the Carabao Cup final coming up, with the latter rounds of the FA Cup as well. Then that's a really good weapon to have in the armory. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's many keepers better at saving penalties than Kepa is, or certainly not in the Premier League or in the Championship or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, we should be blessed to have him. Where are you from, guys? Oh, mate, we're from UK. So yeah, England basically is where we're from. But yeah, guys, if you're joining in worldwide in the chat, then do let us know. It's nice to hear where you're tuning in from and supporting the channel from. Obviously, we do appreciate all of that support. And guys, it's a good point. Again, smash a like on this video. Please do click that subscribe button. We're looking to grow the channel. The match day vlog from yesterday's game is also up on the channel now. So please head to the channel and check that out if you want to see our match day experience from yesterday. Let's have a quick look. Tuning from South Africa. Fantastic. I mean, I've never been to South Africa before. I'm sure it's a lot nicer than the UK at the moment. Bit wet and windy. Some nice South African sun. So hopefully, yeah, thank you for the support coming all the way from there. It's great to see where you guys are tuning in from. To be honest, mate, didn't really think we'd get much worldwide support. Thought it would pretty much just be South Africa. Oh, mate, you got another one coming in from Ireland. Sean, big up yourself tuning in from Ireland. Lovely. What else we got here? So another one. Brilliant to see fans from all over the world. Yep, the Chelsea, over land and sea and Leicester. And here we go. Draw is about to commence. We've got FA Cup legend Mr. Andy Cole doing the draw today.
Classic.
Great striker for Manchester United, Newcastle. I mean, what a goal scorer. I mean, George, just briefly, what are your memories of him?
Box in the box, unbelievable. Always used to get Manchester United out of trouble. Just knew where the net was. So cool.
I've got to say, he's wearing. Sorry to interrupt, mate. He's wearing some dodgy clobber on this, mate. That cardigan he's got on is. I've got to be honest.
I think footballers.
I've got to be honest, Coley. That cardigan is dreadful. So
I think footballers struggle with their fashion sense because they've got more money than sense, so they don't know what to do.
Mate, he's got an absolute rascal piece of gear on. He needs to.
Unlike my prisoner tie that you said I look like I'm in a prison.
Well, look, I'm day release, mate. What else we got? Oh mate, we've got it all going on today. We've got South Africa, we've got Ireland, we've got Scotland, we've got greetings from Greece as well. I mean, yeah, big up yourself for tuning in from sunny Greece. Right, Andy Colloway is emptying the balls into the pot. Remember, guys, just a quick reminder: Chelsea are ball number 7, Frank Lampard's Everton are ball 8, West Ham United ball 9, Manchester United, Manchester City ball 15, and Leicester or Nottingham Forest ball 14. First tie has been drawn out. It's Luton Town at home, and they will play ball number 7. Chelsea, straight out, away to Luton Town. So I guess a bit of a derby in some senses, but George, a nice tie there. We'll come back to that in a sec. Ball number 1 has been drawn out. Crystal Palace, who just beat Hartlepool United, will be at home. So another home tie for Crystal Palace, and they will take on ball number 13, which is Stoke City. So Crystal Palace at home to Championship Stoke City. There's another chance for Patrick Vieira's men potentially to get into those quarterfinals. Ball number 4, Peterborough United. So again, lower league opposition. League 1 Peterborough will be taking on, who will they host? They will host ball number 15. That's a great tie for them. Peterborough hosting Manchester City. Another easy draw for Man City. Classic. Those mugs.
Such mugs. Yeah, we want the big teams to face each other, don't we, really?
Ball number 12. So that'll be the winners of Liverpool versus Cardiff City, which kicks off after this. And again, another home tie. And they will be facing ball number 16. Liverpool or Cardiff at home to Norwich City. Wow, that's a shitter tie, isn't it? Dreadful. Not a fan of that one. Ball number 6 is next. So ball number 6, Southampton, a 2-1 win in extra time against Coventry City yesterday. Again, another home tie for them at St Mary's. And they will face ball number 9. That is West Ham United. Last minute heroics away at Kidderminster Town yesterday. That's an all Premier League tie. Southampton hosting West Ham. Next up, ball number 10, Middlesbrough. Man United's conquerors, they have been rewarded with a home tie at the Riverside. And Middlesbrough will be taking on ball number 11. And that is Tottenham Hotspur. Antonio Conte's Tottenham Hotspur travel to the Riverside Stadium. A tricky tie there, potentially.
That's a tricky one, yeah.
Ball number 14 next. I believe that's Nottingham Forest or holders Leicester City, who play later today. So either of those sides will have a home tie in the last 16. And they will be taking on ball number 3. Ball number 3, Huddersfield Town. So a all championship tie or a Premier League championship affair there. Obviously, Chelsea loanees Tino Anurin and Levi Colwell on loan at Huddersfield Town. Could be interesting to see them in action. Ball number 8, Frank Lampard's Everton, who beat Brentford 4-1 yesterday, have been rewarded with another home tie. And they take on ball number 2, AFC Bournemouth or League 2, I believe, Boreham Wood. So they play later tonight to round out the 4th round action, Bournemouth against Boreham Wood. And that'll be a home tie for Frank Lampard's Everton against the winners of their tie. George, I guess the main news is that all the big teams left in it as such have kind of all avoided each other, which I guess is quite nice. I mean, we said we were due an away tie. We got an away tie. What are your thoughts on Chelsea versus Luton Town facing a trip to Kenilworth Road? We actually, ironically, played Luton Town, I believe, in the FA Cup. Was it last year or the year before? It was Frank Lampard's last game in charge. He made Mason Mount captain, and Tammy Abraham got a hat-trick. I think we beat them 5-0 at the Bridge. So thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I'm happy with the tie, obviously avoiding the big guns. So I'm happy with that. It's going to make it a little bit more tricky being away from home. You're under it slightly.
Smaller ground.
Yeah, conditions might not be to par, but come on, we've got to be happy with that, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, delighted with that. Again, I think Luton are either championship. I think they might be championship.
They're mid-table.
Yeah, championship. So that's good for us. I mean, a word on the other ties. I mean, Manchester City heading to League 1 Peterborough. I mean, again, away it makes it a little bit tougher. We do see cup upsets, but that should be fairly straightforward for Pep's men.
Oh yeah, the way the draw is opening up now with a lot of the Premier League sides avoiding other big Premier League sides, and the majority of them being at home as well. You think that quarterfinal is going to be full of Premier League opposition, maybe one or two that will slip the net, but really, I think it's going to be it's probably, well, usually it ends up with a Premier League winner anyway. So it's gonna be those big guns in there again at the last stages.
Yeah, and then Liverpool obviously got to get past Cardiff City today, but you'd expect them to do that, and they would have a home tie against Premier League strugglers Norwich. So the big guns have all got the big three that are left in, all with pretty straightforward draws. Obviously, I'm not sure what weekend those ties will be on, but I mean, it would be great to try and get tickets to Luton away. I don't know how easy that's going to be. We've obviously been to the first two rounds of the Cup. It would be great to continue that Cup journey, but by trying to go to every round. So we'll have to wait and see how difficult that is. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think it's a good point to round out on. Chelsea travelling to Luton Town in the fifth round of the Cup. Probably be sometime next month, I'd imagine, or it could be probably sometime next month. A nice tie for the Blues, and hopefully we can march on. But yeah, guys, as I said at the top of the video, please do smash a like on this video. Please do click that subscribe button. We appreciate all the support. Road to 400 subscribers by the end of the month. We're looking to try and add 100 each month. So road to 400 by the end of this month. So hopefully you can help us get there. So please do subscribe to the channel. As I said, the match day vlog from yesterday's game against Plymouth is up. So please do check that out on the channel. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We had a great mix today from all over the world: Ireland, Greece, Scotland, South Africa. So thank you for all of your support. Enjoy the rest of your day. Up the Chelsea. And guys, we'll catch you in the Club World Cup preview at the start of next week. Cheers for tuning in.